They call him Sitin, the man of legends.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Rift for Beginners episode 2. In this video I'm going to be talking about sort of souls, soul points, and what you get from leveling up, and the ways that you can use that to customize your character further. So initially pressing N, or just going into sort of player and soul tree, if you want to do it the manual way, will get up the soul tree. So as you'll notice, there are 3 columns currently, Justicar, Shaman and Warden. These are because, well, those souls are there because of the preset build that I chose when I created this character, called the Thunderer. Now, as I mentioned in the last video, the Thunderer was not a permanent decision. I can change this at any time. And you'll also notice at the bottom of this is actually a big button called presets, where you can see loads of different presets. Now, just so you are all aware, presets are by far, none of them are the best builds at all, you know. They are alright builds, they get the job done, but they've got a few points that could be allocated elsewhere for sort of further damage or healing output. So initially, you know, if you're following one of these preset builds, it's going to tell you exactly where to spend the points with a sort of a bit of a patronizing arrow, you know, slowly bobbing up and down on where to click. And you can feel free to follow that. You know, if you're new to the game and you just want to get in and start hitting stuff and, you know, just follow one of these preset builds. They'll do fine for low level. You know, there's not too much of a damage difference. As you're leveling up, though, you'll probably, you know, go, hey, why are you making me spend points here? I want to spend them over here to get this ability, etc. So I'll just backtrack and elaborate a bit. Whenever you sort of spend a point and just continue to spend points, what will happen is, you know, you'll continue going up the tree, but also how many points you spend in each soul tree also affects the routes. So as you'll notice, when you spend 2 points in Shaman, you get an ability called Lightning Hammer. 4 points you get a charge called Ride the Lightning, and then 8 points you get Massive Blow. So and it's the same for pretty much every tree. At level 60, you have a total of 76 soul points which you can spend, and use that to sort of customize the class the way you want it. You know, there's a large variety of builds and you can pretty much create whatever you want. The viability of builds, however, is a totally different story. So, you know, there will always be builds that are better than other builds, but maybe, you know, the main part of the game is enjoyment, and there are a lot of stuff that you can do in open world which doesn't really require, you know, the best build, so you can just take whichever build you would like and play about and make it. But for leveling purposes, you know, you can just pretty much put anything that deals a bit of damage together and go out and enjoy that. There's a lot to play around with. In regards to sort of switching the souls, I'm going to go into that now in a bit more detail. So as you'll notice, if you click on, you know, any one of these icons next to Justicar, Shaman or Warden, then it'll bring up the list of other souls that there are. So all the other cleric souls appear. There are a total of 9 souls for each classes. If you haven't got the Storm Legion expansion, there are only 8 souls. You miss out on the Defiler soul for clerics, which isn't too much of a hit. You know, you can still play the game without it. It's completely free to play and you'll be still viable with it and have no problems whatsoever. So one of the things that is suggested to do until you're level 30, if you feel confident doing it and making your own spec, is to equip a 0-point pet soul. Now every class has a pet soul, so it's basically a soul which is 0 points. Just having the soul in your soul tree will give you a pet of some sort. So this pet will continue to level with you until you reach level 30, and then it will stop leveling with you unless you decide you want to invest quite a lot of points, if not all of your points, into that pet soul. So when you level up, you're either going to get sort of either 1 or 2 soul points, depending on sort of, I think it's every 3 levels you get an additional soul point as well. So you're always going to have a surplus of soul points. A maximum soul points that can go on each tree is 61. You're not going to need to worry about that for a while though. So, you know, feel free to sort of change your souls. Every soul has a unique ability that it grants as 0 points, which can be very useful. So maybe if you just want to spend points in Shaman and Druid to further increase sort of physical damage, you can also have 0 points in Purifier, which will also give you a shield that you can use, which is pretty cool, you know, an absorb shield. so that'll give you further survivability, etc. You know, there is a lot to play about with, and literally you can customize, create whatever kind of class you want. So just to recap, every 3 levels you will get 2 soul points. Every other level apart from that you get 1 soul point. You can either spend it freely if you want and gradually build your own way up the tree, create any kind of hybrid build you want. Next point, it is suggested to use any 0 point spec with a pet in up to level 30. So for clerics, that's druid, rogues, ranger, mages, elementalist or necromancer, and warriors, beastmaster. Have that spec. You might as well have the pet, unless the pet is really annoying you for whatever reason. Then you can get rid of it and find something else useful. But yes, guys, it is simple as that. You can customize, create whatever you want. The preset builds are not the best builds, and if you use any of the names on these forums when referring to how to play, people are going to give you a shoddy look, because nobody at endgame plays any of these preset specs. They're just to get you on the right track so you can dive into the game and don't have to spend ages fiddling about with this. But some people like to fiddle about with this. Anyways, thank you for watching. Any questions, comments or anything at all, leave in the comments below or tweet me. I really not down with social media networks or anything, but yeah, tweet me. It's probably going to be quite hard to tweet a question just because of the limited characters, but I'm sure somebody somewhere will find a way of doing it. Anyway, thank you for watching, and yes, like the video.